In 1943, Sid Nathan, a local of Cincinnati, converted an abandoned warehouse into a record studio. Little did he know that over the next 30 years, this space, hidden in the Evanston neighborhood, would play a pivotal role in the evolution of music and the creation of rock and roll. Some say that what defines rock and roll is its ability to cross boundaries. Sid Nathan wasn't afraid to cross boundaries, and his work that was done at King would cross many, some musical, some racial, and some geographical. I should know. I'm Philip Paul, and from 1952 to 1965, I was a studio drummer for King Records. During my time at King, I played in over 250 recordings as diverse as the doo-wop and the soul of Hank Ballard and guitar blues of Freddie King and country and bluegrass music of Cowboy Copas and Bonnie Lou. King was a big part of my life, and you still want to hear my work on the original version of The Twist. King Records had great success over the 3 decades they were in business. Nearly 250 hit songs were recorded and more than 150 million records in the jazz, country, bluegrass, funk, and rhythm and blues fields were manufactured. King played a major role in the career of stars such as James Brown, Wynonie Harris, who was a major influence and role model for Elvis Presley.
King Records became the first company in the United States to have 3 records in the top 40 all at the same time.
King revolutionized the process by which music was recorded, manufactured, distributed, and promoted, with the entire production process under one roof. A record could be recorded and be on the desk of a studio disc jockey the very next day. King was a leader in the music industry, and we were also a leader in pushing social change. Through the 40s and 50s, America was still following Jim Crow laws and the forced segregation of black and white Americans. Not only were people separated, so was the music. Sid Nathan was one of the first to experiment with mixing bluegrass and blues, which helped pave the way for what we now know as rock and roll. At the same time, King was making new kinds of music. Major changes were going on in our country and in the neighborhoods surrounding the studio.
It was more difficult for African Americans to get an equal job footing with white people, and I guess it still is, but we felt strongly that it was important for everybody to have the same opportunity.
King was one of the first desegregated companies in Cincinnati, putting African Americans into leadership roles and supporting black artists when other major labels refused to.
But what makes a legacy? And I think in terms of where we were, and you know, we live in a society that has not always been colorblind, and so in terms of the opportunity that Sid Nathan made available to a diverse group of people, that makes it a legacy in itself. This gentleman was way ahead of the curve, so to speak, in doing what he did in order to make that opportunity.